Something that's kind of related is sending out reminders to customers to let them know that these late fees are coming, that they're going to be assessed these charges. I mean, you don't want to just spring things on customers out of nowhere. You kind of want to give them a couple of warnings, let them know that this is what's going to happen if we don't receive payment, things like that. It's just common courtesy, and it helps you form a better relationship with that customer. So you can do that manually. You can go onto the customers list just like I did earlier. You can send out those reminders yourselves, or if you're using QBO Advanced, and this is the only feature that's exclusive to QBO Advanced that I'm going to teach today, but it's a good one. You can use what are called workflows. And workflows are, again, one of those features that it's almost enough just by itself to make me want to upgrade, because it's so helpful in so many different ways. And it might help you, lower those accounts receivable days just enough for it to be worth paying an additional fee. What I'm going to do is go ahead and get rid of these. I'm going to delete some of these so we can take a look at the workflows. Now, workflows, honestly, I don't really like the name of them. They're called workflows, but a lot of things in QuickBooks are workflows, right? Like creating an invoice and then receiving a payment from a customer and then creating a deposit. That's a workflow. What these really should be called, in my opinion, are automated workflows, because that's what they are. Right in here, we can choose the different types of automated workflows. We have one. This is cool. This is a reminder that tells you that you need to pay a bill. Now, I got to tell you, and I'll go ahead and I'll turn on my my camera for this one. So I would have been helped by this feature a couple of months ago. So I, like a lot of you, I get a new debit card every now and then, and I actually forgot to go to my my electricity company's website to update my debit card. Now, they didn't send me any notification that I was overdue on my bill or anything like that. They just sent me a really angry letter that said that they're going to cut off my electricity if I don't pay within a certain number of days. They didn't, like, no warning, nothing like that. It was not a good situation. And then they charged me extra. So I was late on the payment, so they charged me $40 more. This would have saved me those $40, right? This is actually it's a time-saving feature, and it's also a money-saving feature, because it's saving you from being late paying your bills. So it's a pretty big one potentially. And as long as you're recording your bills by going up here to new and then bill and putting in that due date, it's going to help you out that way. Now I see a question Cheryl wrote. My QBO doesn't show workflows. Is this a function that needs to be turned on? So Cheryl, this is only available with QBO Advanced. So you have to be that subscription level to see it, unfortunately. And that's what I was talking about, how it might actually be worth upgrading if you like it enough. But you might not. And so seeing this demonstration might be enough to say like, oh yeah, okay, that's enough to move me over there. But we'll see. If you have any questions, by the way, about other things that QBO Advanced can do, you can let me know. And by the way, we're not into it and we're not affiliated with it. This is not a sales pitch. I'm not trying to get anybody to upgrade. I'm just saying that, this is a thing that it can do. Just helping you out and let you know. So I don't have any investment one way or another. I just like showing off what it can do because it might help you. So we've got that, but there's also this. Now, this is really cool too. This is the payment received. So this is helpful. And again, talking about that relationship that you make with a customer, right? So important to make sure that everything goes well there. One of the things that I appreciate as a customer is to get a notification that my payment was received. That's an important thing. It's like your little receipt, right? And you can still send them out. But what's nice here is that you can automate it. And whenever you enter a payment from a customer, QuickBooks can email them to notify them and say, hey, we received this payment, to let them know. And that's a nice little thing. It'll save you some time potentially. Payment due reminder. we're going to come back to this. This is my favorite one. We're going to talk about that in a bit. Overdue invoice memo. This basically makes it so that QuickBooks enters the actual word overdue on the memo of the invoice whenever it goes overdue. And that's helpful because whenever you're looking at an invoice, you'll see that on there. It also shows up on reports. So if you've got like the memo column or description column on a report, it'll say overdue right there. It'll also say it on statements. So some good stuff. Bank deposit reminder. Has anybody here ever forgotten to create a deposit from what's in undeposited funds? No, I have. So this stops that from happening. And then you've got these two, which is automatically send unsent invoices or unsent invoices reminder. Basically, if you create an invoice and you don't email it to somebody, QuickBooks will actually automatically do that for you every day or send you a reminder to do it. Again, another time saver. Now, this is the big one for me. These are all good, but this is the big one. Payment due reminder. Now, what this means is that we can program QuickBooks to automatically remind a customer that they're about to be overdue, that an invoice is due that day, or that it's been overdue for a couple of days. Now, what's cool about these is that you can actually set up multiple of the same workflow. So you could set up an entire system of payment due reminders. So what I'm going to do is do that exact thing. I'm going to create 3 reminders. One is going to be for payment is due in 3 days, and then payment is due today, and then payment was due 7 days ago. So let's do it. Payment is due in 3 days. That's what I'm going to call this. It's for all invoices, so more than $0. It's for all customers. I don't want to touch all that. Send email 3 days. Oh, I think I have to choose this thing over here. I don't want it to be after the due date. I want it to be before. Because really, like, and I know that that's the default on this screen, like warn people after the due date. Don't you want to get paid before it? I want to get paid before it. So to me, the default should be before the due date. So we're going to send this out 3 days before the due date. We're going to send a copy to, so we can send a copy to ourselves. And what's cool about this also is that it'll also send us an email potentially or send us a mobile notification. So you can actually get a notification on your phone. If you've got the QBO app, it shows up there in the QBO app, which is awesome. You get a little notification there. All right, so the subject is invoice blank is overdue. Well, it's not really overdue, is due in 3 days, right? Hello, customer name. We would like to let you know that an invoice is due in 3 days, right? The outstanding amount due is blank, and QuickBooks fills in these fields for us whenever it fills out these emails. Now, everything looks good. Save and enable. There it is. Payment is due in 3 days. So QuickBooks just does that for me now. Whenever I go over to history, you can confirm that it's actually doing this, and you can see all of the different instances in which it has warned a customer about these things or warned us about something. So anytime this like workflow is triggered, it goes into that history. Now I'm going to go create another workflow because again, you can create a whole system of these, right? So we're going to create another payment due reminder. Payment due today, right? Now this is for all customers again, amount more than $0, perfect. Actions, send an email, day of due date. We can copy ourselves on it if we want to get notifications, great. This is the subject line of the email, invoice is due today. Sorry about that. I'll turn the silence on my phone. This is a message from Amazon. I get those every day. Hello, blank. We would like to let you know that you have an invoice number due today. The outstanding amount due is blank. Please reach out to us if you have any questions. And you know what? We set up that late fee earlier. If we do not receive payment within 3 days, a late fee of $20 will be assessed on your account, right? It's the right thing to do to let them know that these sorts of things will be assessed to them. So we'll save and enable that too. And now we don't have to do that ever again. We can create another workflow again that'll be for like after the due date, like 7 days after the due date, and we can really spruce up the language, you know, and let them know that we're gonna send somebody over to their house to collect payment. You know, I mean, like you can do whatever you want. You probably shouldn't do that, but you can set up any kind of warning you want to with these payment due reminders, and that way you don't have to do it yourself anymore. So it's a bit of a time saver. So there you go. Those two things very linked: the late fees, the reminders. Now I'm going to go back. For this, by the way, I logged into a different company file. And for those of you who are curious about what version of QuickBooks Online I'm using for this, it's QBO Advanced. And you can find out what version of QBO you use from the account and settings section. All you have to do is go over to billing and subscription, and it'll have your subscription right over there. So there you go. Close that off. Let's sign out. And I'm going to go back over to the test drive, which again, all of you also have access to.